So you like the idea of reading, but you have a hard time sitting down and focusing on learning and reading new books. You find it easier to learn by doing. In this video, I'm going to go over 5 to 6 tips on how to read when you just don't like reading. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan Conlon and this is a channel on a lot of different things. And today we're going to talk about something that I struggled with for a long time. How to read when you hate reading. Now, I used to hate reading books. I really used to hate reading books. And now I enjoy reading books, I think. I remember back in the day, my dad used to try and get me to read books, being like, you should read more books. And I didn't read the books. And I used to think that reading was bad because I did it in school. I did it for homework and I associated homework with the terrible things in my life. And I was dyslexic and that had a whole different side of issues, so my reading comprehension was poor, and I think people like to do the things they're good at it, and I was just really bad at reading. However, then I talked about this in another video, about a year or 2 years ago, I started picking up reading as a responsible young adult, and it really changed my perspective on multiple different topics and ideas. Now, every book I read, I only ever take 1 to 3 things from a book, and I began to learn the secret about all these books and why everyone tries to get you to read books and why you're like, no, I don't want to read books, is every person in life has had a bad situation or they've had a challenge they've gone through. There probably has been a book written on that topic, and that's what I started to discover when I started reading non-fiction books. But again, there's also fiction books. There's only like a subset, a very small subset of the population that probably reads books to enjoy them. A lot of people would just use media or podcasts or magazines for most of their information, but I think it's growing, or hopefully I think books or non-fiction books are almost, it seems like they're growing in this digital age, but I could be completely wrong. Anyway, I've been there. I know what it's like to hate reading books and not enjoying books and rather learn by doing, but here is 5 or 6 really simple steps that I use to help myself starting to like or starting to read books again, or starting to read books for the first time. This sounds really cliche. Is just, why do you want to read books? Like, is it to learn a new language? Is it to learn a new skill? Or do you just not want to read books whatsoever? That's okay. If that's the case, probably shouldn't watch the video. But if you really didn't like reading books in the past and you want to change now, maybe you want to learn something new, a language, maybe you want to pick up a new skill, maybe you want to learn about a certain topic you're interested in, maybe it's health, maybe it's fitness, maybe it's personal finance, maybe it's any sort of book you want to read. But first, I figure out why you want to read a book. For me, I want to just pick up a book because I had free time in university on an exchange program, and I felt like there was a lot of questions that I wanted to be answered. So I picked a book that I was interested in or a topic that I was interested in, and I wanted to learn something about it and just started reading. And that why starting really made it easier for me to get into reading, and finding something or a topic that I was interested in or a skill that I wanted to learn was a lot easier. Before I used to listen to books, I started with audiobooks. I used to listen to Audible all the time. I used to download the books, plug it in my ears when I'm just doing nothing or doing things. And again, it goes back to the first point. When I wanted to learn about a certain topic or a certain skill or health and fitness, I used audiobooks when I was passively cooking food, or when I was washing my clothes, or when I was just walking around. I used to listen to audiobooks all the time. And that was a really easy way to consume a book that gained all the knowledge or the 1 to 3 pieces of information that I wanted in a short period of time, in a relatively short period of time. And that's something that I really enjoyed. Now, if you've already figured out why you want to start reading books, and if you started already listening to audiobooks, the next step may be to start picking up a book, or borrowing your friend's book, or buying a book. This is to start really stupidly small. I went in with the wrong attitude when I started reading books. I was like, I'm going to read a book a week, or I'm going to read a book a day, and it's going to be amazing. And that turned out to be not so great, because I would never finish a book, or I wouldn't read that much pages. It would just go over my head. So what I started to do is I set a target. I was like, what I'm doing is not sustainable. I'm never going to finish a book. I'm going to just read 1 page a day. 1 page. And I know it seems just ridiculous, and what do you even get out of 1 page? If you start reading 1 page, you're probably going to start reading 2 pages if you start enjoying the 1 page. And reading the 1 page, you're building that habit every day. It compounds. So let's say you start reading 1 page a day. Well then, in a year from now, you'll have read 365 pages, and that will be a full book, where from previously you would have never read a book. But just committing to that habit with a very small thing of, okay, I'm going to read for 3 minutes today, or I'm going to read for 1 page a day, and just commit to that for a period of time, whether that's 30 days, a week, a month, If you commit to that stupid small habit or that really small habit, it will compound over time and make reading a lot easier. And now I'm up to a place where I just try read 10 pages a day. And I may not remember everything, that's absolutely okay. But it's the 10 pages, the compounding, that eventually I'll be able to read things and I'll build that habit of I am starting to begin reading books. The reason why I used to have a really bad association with books is I used to get books or autobiographies that I didn't really enjoy, and I associated them. Why would I read books if they're just books out there that I don't enjoy? Turns out when I started opening up and started going online and searching for different things, I found topics I enjoyed, and from that, reading began to become more pleasurable, let's not use that word. Reading slowly began to become more enjoyable over time. The last tip I'd say is read first thing in the morning. This is what I found really beneficial. Like, some people read before bed, and I tried that before and I just couldn't go to sleep because I read a book and my head would be just wired to the moon thinking of all these random ideas. But some people find it beneficial. There's no reason why you probably can't do it in the evening time or on your commute, but I found it to do it first thing in the morning. So I would do it before the gym in the morning, or as soon as I get up, I'd go grab some water, maybe grab a coffee, and then start to read my 10 pages or my page day or whatever it is. Or even listen to an audiobook in the gym, because you're bunching those habits together and it makes things seem a lot more enjoyable in the long term. So folks, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully you don't hate reading books anymore. Maybe you do. If you still do, that's okay. Hopefully these tips can help you, because I used to hate reading books. I really used to hate reading books, and the benefits that I've got from taking the 1 to 3 things and then implementing them into my life, that's the hardest thing. Like, reading them and then implementing them, that was the hardest thing. But doing that, I've seen great benefit and changes to my life and my whole perspective, so hopefully you can too. If you stayed to the end, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate if you subscribe and give me a thumbs up, because it really, really helps the channel. Till next time, folks, enjoy the week.
Thank you.